Hi guys, it's Maaike. Today I'm back with a 3 LED light card, and here it is. And you can make it work. You'll need 2 batteries and a little bit more understanding of electric wiring. And this is my first attempt because the card base is pliable. It doesn't make contact very well. And I showed you the other one, SMD LED lights, I think they're called, but those are really tricky to connect because those little bits where you connect them are so small. It's better to solder them instead of trying to glue them or tape them. So I'm drawing here my card base, and also where I kind of want my light in my house. And of course I made a mistake here. You need 3 lights and 2 batteries, or 2 batteries, 2 lights, because my lights are 1.8. And in Dutch this is called parallel geschakeld, which means a continuous circuit, and I would say kind of side roads to the other lights. So you can pause this and draw your own. I took blue card base and I splattered it with acrylic paint, and I punched holes, and I made the contact there already, but then it didn't work the way I wanted it to. I also traced this onto the card base, and I'm sorry I'm going pretty fast, but yeah, it was an hour-long footage. And I'm using here the aluminium tape, which would work, but I didn't make contact somewhere, so I thought it was the tape, but it wasn't. And I switched to put the copper tape on top. And you see here, instead of making more bends, I just make the circuit a little bit smaller. And you just go from battery to light, making sure plus and minus don't touch. And of course the tape connects to your LED lights. And I use my bone folder just to even it out everything. And this is, I think this is where I made my overlapping or my contact too skinny, and it didn't carry the power or the electricity well enough. Because I used this tape before and it does work, it's conductive, but if you prefer to use copper tape, then go ahead. So I leave one bit of the circuit open because it has to go on the other side of the battery, so I can't connect that yet, because then I would cross plus and minus. And here again I show you the LED have a plus and a minus side. The longer leg is the plus and the shorter side is minus, and also the straight side on the LED. That depends on your powered light, wattage or voltage, if it's straight or curved. Well, that is not always the same, and you have a square LED lights as well. So and here you see I'm bending the legs so that the lights are upright. They go through the hole in the card base, and then I use more connective tape. See, here I'm checking, it doesn't work, and I thought, oh, maybe it's the battery or the light, or maybe I need to close the circuit. But it wasn't it. It was somewhere there was a break or a hole. What do you want to say? A crevice. For this I used 300 grams card because that's nice and sturdy. And I try to use thinner batteries. These are 2025, but there's also 2016 or 1616. And see, it does work better with the tape around it, but it wasn't that, because now I'm connecting it with the aluminium tape to the copper, and that still works. So I'm not sure where there was a breakage, but there was. So see, but at one battery they might work, but not very well, because this is 3.6 volts together and my battery is only 3. And if you remember from the other video, I showed you 1.5 volts wouldn't power these LED either, so I kind of forgot here. But that's I'll do 2 batteries, that's 6 volts, and then I can add another light. I'm securing them also with a bit of scotch tape just to be sure. See, it's not the contact, it's because of not enough power. But it doesn't hurt to reinforce the contact. See? And that's why I chose this parallel circuit. And here it is the third light. I added it off screen just because it's too long. See, it doesn't work like this, but it works like this if it makes contact. And it worked fine. I showed you the example in the beginning of the video, but now I can't get it on anymore. This is not very, I can say, trustworthy, dependable method. So I don't know why now it doesn't work anymore. So I spent 4 hours on this card, and it worked for 2 seconds. So this is not my favorite method of using LED. I would suggest you stick just to the one. And here I'm checking for the thickness so I can make my score line. And then I'm cutting it to fit the battery better. And attaching it to the card. It's important that the whole battery makes contact, so that's why I use the aluminum tape again to make a bigger surface in one go. But it shouldn't be too wide that the flaps hang over the battery and make contact with the other side of the plus and minus. You get short circuit. And you can tape the batteries together if you leave enough space for them to make contact. If you put tape over it, it's insulated and it won't make contact. And I'll show you that in a minute. But here, see, I'm connecting all the bits. And it still works. Yay. Now to build up the card, I traced the holes from the card front. And I have to make a compartment for the battery. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. And if it fits, I will just trace them to the other 2. You need 3 layers of foam tape. And I say, if you have thinner batteries, you might have enough with 2 layers of foam. But I didn't. I've ordered some 2016 or 1616, which are also a little bit smaller. So they will run empty more quickly, I would say. But here I'm taping them together to keep them together. And see, it still works. But if you put the tape, it not work anymore because it doesn't make contact. And if you had physics at school, you probably know all this. For me, that was a really long time ago. Like 30 years. But yeah, it's still stuck in my head. So I also do all my own DIY at home. So, you know, you get practice. And this hole puncher was lent by me by my craft store. I have to give it back, of course, but I'm making this for them. So I thought they should lend me their hole punch. And yeah, this foam tape is sticky on one side, but it's not on the other side. So I'm putting more double-sided tape, which I can't get off with my nails. So anyway, the basics is make sure your circuit is not touching each other. It's a parallel circuit, which you might have to Google because I don't know how it's called in English. I'm glad I know the Dutch name. But see, it still works if you put the foam tape on top because the electricity is conducted by the tape. Even if it's covered, it's still there. And here I forgot to trace it on the third one, but I really need it because it's sticking out. And these are 2025 batteries, CR 2025, so they're a little bit skinnier already than the ones I used before. But still, I need 3 layers. So I'm making sure the batteries can't move anymore. And they're tucked in very well. So they will still make contact. See? And I have no idea why it stopped working. I don't think it's the batteries run empty. Something must have happened. But I don't know what. So I'm really sad. Because I was just in time to take a picture. And then I wanted to try it again and it didn't. Yeah, I'm not an electrician. I mean, I don't know. There must be something has happened to it. Maybe the battery shifted. I don't know. I'm trying to push it all the bits and places, but it really doesn't want to go. So yeah, also trying to move the batteries. It does not work. I don't know why. But yeah, I show you this, and I would advise you not to even attempt this unless you're up for the challenge. See? The only downside to this system is that the little compartment for the battery is behind the card front, so you cannot get to it anymore like with the other versions I made last week. And that's why I would, or last week, the week before last week, I would suggest you to I'm not sure what I was trying to suggest, sorry. You can put the the little flowers on, and I also got these Austrian village I was talking about, and also the forest tree line, and these are Marianne Design LRO443 and 444. And I've put a little star where the contact is, so you know you have to push there, or you should push there, see. So if the batteries are empty, you can't get to them anymore, and this one has to go into the bin practically after 4 hours of work. It's trash. That makes me really sad. But yeah, the SMD lights, the small rectangle ones, people try to glue them with super glue or contact glue, but you are in risk of covering your really small contact points, as I said. And soldering is the best, but then people have burned holes through the cards, so be careful with that as well. And that's why I only show you how to use these lights, because I think those are more friendly to use. And I just basically, it's the same as the Austrian landscape card that I made the other week. And then I put in a little hill on the bottom. And I just eyeball a shape, it doesn't really matter how you cut it. But it was too much of a slope there, see? So it shows the blue. And of course you have to make a hole again. But I thought I'll just make the slope a little less hilly, so my house doesn't float in nowhere. Yeah, it's still snow. If you want, you can make some shadows, and I use the yellow light again, but please don't use yellow glow on the white snow. You know why. Yeah, don't go there. It does look yellow if your light does, but I think yellow snow is a no. Okay, I'm popping up my house as well a little bit because of the foam layers, my hills. See, there's already a little bit of a faff there. But then I got it to work again. But now it doesn't work anymore. I don't know. But the theory is the same. The system of putting the tape and electricity is the same. And I hope yours will keep working. Thank you for watching. And I will see you again soon. Bye.